Hey guys, Brandon Babalola here from Next Up Athletes. We're having a quick call with Tinashe Muchena, Lindawood number 8, about how he got to America and answering some of the questions that you guys have sent through for us. Tinashe, how are you doing today, mate?
I'm all right. And yourself, Brandon?
I'm well, thank you. We'll just get it started. So I've got a couple of questions for you that I wanted to ask personally. And then after that, we'll just ask some of the questions that some of our followers have sent in. So first, could you tell us a little bit about life before studying and playing in America?
Pretty straightforward. For me, it was just, a young kid in Africa. You aspire to finish high school, and then from there, you usually take it up either in the workforce or you actually get to go to college. And I was probably going to go and do what I'm studying now and just study without thinking about sport at all. And it just so happened that I was blessed enough to get the opportunity to come out here and play. So before that, it was just go play rugby, enjoy, finish school. And then this just opened up big doors for me.
Yeah, for sure. That makes complete sense. What would you say are some of the characteristics you think someone needs to have if they want to study and play in America?
It goes without saying, work ethic has to be crazy because you come out here, you're competing with the best, maybe even the best of the best. So if you don't have your game in order and you don't have your work ethic up, you probably will get left behind. Adaptability and coachability. One thing I found really hard when I came here was the weather change.
Yeah.
Because in Zimbabwe, winters are pretty mild. Like you don't get anything scalably cold compared to the UK and USA. So strangely, that's the season in which you play in that winter spring season. So yeah, that adjustment was major. Just got to be on your toes.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that. I mean, I feel like, for us, when we're looking at players, yes, we're looking at the sporting ability, and yes, we're looking at, the educational stand view of a player as well. But something you mentioned that was really key was that work ethic. I think, player that's going to go out there has to be the kind of player that, they're staying behind after training, working on those extras, going to the extra gym sessions, all those little things that really and truly lead to being a success in America. So that's good. So yeah, we'll start with some of our questions from our followers. Elliot from South Africa asked, what would your advice be for someone trying to take their game to the next level?
Focus on the details. What do the people who are best in your position do well? For example, when I was looking at one of the best 8-men in the world, Kieran Reid, he always falls forward. Whether it's in contact, whether he's going through a ruck, whether he's defending, he's always making sure he's going forward. So little details like that always help out in ultimate games.
Okay, perfect. Julia from Belgium asked, what was your biggest shock culturally when first coming to America?
I don't think I have one. I just came in and it was like, oh yeah, just like the movies, here we go.
Yeah.
And just adapted. Maybe snow. I think the snow might have been, I don't know if it's the culture shock, if anything, but the snow really shocked me. Yeah, completely new.
Yeah, one of those ones. I think for me, so in London, in England, really and truly, saying like you're right to someone is like a very normal greeting. In America, I got out there and I was saying you're right, and people were kind of looking at me like, yeah, I'm all right. Why are you asking me, kind of thing, as opposed to
yeah.
So I think it's those little subtle differences that you don't really think about those things going out there, but once you're there, you notice them as quite big things in everyday life. So yeah, that makes sense. My one day from Zimbabwe asked, how was your first semester in America? Did you get homesick? And if so, how did you deal with it?
My first semester in America was very strange because I knew almost nothing about where I was. The only thing that I knew was how to play rugby.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't get as homesick in my first semester because I was excited to be out here. However, I think going into my second year is when I started really feeling the homesickness. And my coping mechanism was just finding a good group of friends who can also voice their opinions and, their feelings on being homesick, and also find something that you can relate to that, reminds you of the good times of being home. So music, a picture, videos. Yeah, there are ways of coping with it, but just have to find what works for you.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, makes complete sense. Nikki from Australia asks, how do you manage to balance working and studying and playing at the same time?
They all work hand in hand, which is something that I think I would have loved to know before coming to America. You assume that as a student athlete, you really just have to go out there and play, and your grades don't matter too much, and the whole nine. However, if you don't have good grades, you really can't play. You're ineligible to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're not playing, the investment of a scholarship is almost null and void because you're not adding any value.
Exactly.
I think it's just a matter of finding your rhythm and routine and sticking to it. It becomes second nature.
Yeah, for sure. I think that time management really and truly is the key thing, you know. It's not necessarily the hardest thing in the world, you know, getting a degree in terms of the difficulty, but, you know, those participation points when you get to class where you're looking at the end of term, you know, you actually realize that actually does play quite a key role, turning up to class. And it's that discipline that you need turning up to class is the same kind of discipline you're going to need on the, you know, turning up to gym on time or turning up to training on time and those little things. So yeah, I think that's really important. Lorenzo Thomas, shout out LT, from Oklahoma, asks, with the Black Lives Matter movement being so prevalent in America, how was it going to university as a black man?
It's weird, right? Because I think I was ignorant in that I thought me being a foreigner would almost exempt me from being a black student in university, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So whereas if, per se, I got stopped by the cops, I would assume my accent would save me and they'll be like, oh yeah, he's a foreign kid, never mind. However, it's not the case. So it made me more socially aware, and I had to like dig up and read up on a lot of these things that I had no idea about to actually somewhat but connect with, you know, the African American population on campus.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So you mentioned something about getting stopped by the cops. I mean, would you say, surely that wasn't on a university campus, that was like outside of a campus?
No, it was outside, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
how would you say it is in the university setting as opposed to, you know, everyday life and that kind of thing? Would you say it's quite a stark difference, or would you say it's quite similar?
It's a huge difference. I feel like you're more accepted, and it's almost safer. It's almost like a safe zone where you can actually dive into these things and have the conversations and almost just be generally accepted and looked at differently or equally. Yeah. Whereas outside, you start feeling the subtle nuances or the explicit and obvious things that you'd actually face in day-to-day life.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, especially with universities having so many international students, I think it brings people together as opposed to separates people, you know. I feel like, you know, for a black guy from London and a black guy from Zimbabwe to both be in the same place and, you know, join and understand and go through the same things, I think it, you know, does bring people closer together in that sense as well, which is really good. Our last question is from Marco from Argentina, who asks, what did you do during holidays? Did you go home or did you stay in America?
I would go home for about a month.
Okay.
Over the holiday, just to visit the parents, or if I had to renew the visa, and then come straight back here and, you know, find a rugby club to play with or do internships for my degree.
Yeah. So you had both avenues in terms of extra things to do to help you as a student athlete. So internships at different job offerings and also different club opportunities as well.
Yeah. I think while you're out here studying and playing, why not maximize both ends and just, you know, see where it takes you instead of neglecting the other side. So I try to balance those two and even make them work hand in hand, whereas I'll play for a team while doing an internship with them or with someone who's connected to the team.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Okay, well, thank you Tinashe today for doing this interview with us. Really appreciate it, just because I feel like it could go a long way to answering some of the questions that some people who might be considering doing the same thing that you've done. It might help them, you know, feel a bit more at ease. And I think it's a great opportunity just because, as you said, it's opened up different avenues in terms of your rugby and in terms of your academic career as well, which is good. How are the studies going, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Pretty well, man. I'm almost done. I've got about 20 credits to go till I graduate. So I'm taking it easy these last 2 semesters.
Yeah, fair. Makes complete sense. All right, well, good luck with that. We'll catch up with you soon. I'm sure everyone at Next Up Athletes and all our followers will be following your career very, very closely. Good luck with the future. And yeah, thanks for having this call with us today.
Awesome, man. Thank you to the Next Up Athletes team and you for having me and inviting me to this platform. It was much appreciated.